I recently acquired a pink Monopoly Caitlin Clark for 149
Okay.
PSA 10. Is this a card I should be looking to get rid of quick
Okay.
or hold on to because it is Caitlin Clark?
Okay.
What are your thoughts on potentially doing like TCG, like Pokemon,
Oh, great.
kind of in that interim?
Yeah. So, you want me to show you how to make money with TCG cards in like 30 seconds? We are live for the Eric Michael show, and we're doing this on a Wednesday because on Monday we had a slight tech error. So I decided to do this again. Welcome. But let's get this rock and rolling. So,
Oh, geez. I wasn't trying to call in real fast, Eric. I was trying just to connect with you. I couldn't find you this morning.
where were you looking for me?
On my computer.
Oh, well, here I am. Do you have any questions for me?
Well, actually, yeah, I guess I got one. Been doing really good lately, but all my stuff is in baseball. And according to you, baseball is going to drop off pretty shortly. And I've got a pretty big traffic jam. I've got about $10,000 worth of cards still in the grading process, and I don't know what to do with those. Should I hang on to them after they're graded, or should I sell them? I know they're going to drop off, but they don't drop off suddenly, do they?
It depends on the performance of the player. So I'm gonna share my screen, even though it might be a little bit delayed for you calling. So let me share my screen here and show you what you're looking at. So right now, not every baseball card falls off, just a lot of them do. So if you look at last year, for example, like a super popular player was Jackson Churio, right? Jackson
Right.
Churio. And if you look at his PSA 10 Bowman Chrome and you go in the past 365 days, you could see at this time last year, his Bowman Chrome PSA 10, like base Bowman Chrome, was $40. And a month after it, the card dropped down to like $23, $25. So because just Jackson Churio's hype was so much that it's just very difficult to sustain, right? You have to be like the
Right.
next great player to hold it. So there's nothing you can do now if you have cards already in grading. I mean, there's just not much you can do. I would just sell them before as soon as you get them back, and then just use it as a lesson for the next time. That you know, be safe. Like I stopped buying baseball cards if I'm buying cards that get graded. Really, if the season starts April 1st, you want to be safe. Like stop like January 1st, right? You could buy baseball cards October, November, December, send them in to get graded, and then you can start buying football in like late January, February. So just move into football a little bit sooner next time. So to draw this out for you, just so it makes sense, right? So you have like, right, I'm gonna share my screen here, right? So you have baseball, you have football, then you have basketball. And me, generally speaking, what I like to do is I like to buy baseball from about October to December, and then I like to sell it. And let me just make this a little cleaner. So we have baseball, we have football, and we have basketball. So this will be a nice safe guideline for you to use. And then you could sell baseball in February to March, like generally speaking. You don't have to follow this exactly, but and then football, right? You're buying football, right? You could buy football February to about May, and then sell football July to August, and then you take that money and then you start to buy basketball. Then you buy basketball, right? You could buy basketball in about when do I start buying basketball? I don't know, June to August, and then I sell basketball in September to October, and then it repeats itself. Then I start buying baseball again. So this is like a safe guideline to use. Obviously, it depends on the types of cards you're buying. If you're buying cards that are more expensive, you could spend more money to get them graded and they'll come back a lot faster. But there's nothing you can do now. Just hope the players that you get back from grading are just don't underperform. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe they'll perform well and they'll be worth more by the time you get them back. But this is a general guideline I follow, and it's worked for me for a long time. But hopefully this makes sense. Does this make sense?
Yeah, it does. I just got involved in this, I think, about December. So I got in a little behind the power curve there and have been buying baseball. I stopped buying baseball lately, but it seems like stuff has been moving kind of slow through the grading process, and I get it. It's not all those young kids are going to turn into Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
But a lot of them are just going to come and go like any batch of ball players. So
Yep.
I guess I got to just. Would it be better to sell them and then hope that they're not going to go bust during the season? Some guys just fall out completely. I guess take some profit.
Well, I'm assuming your goal is to make a side income with sports cards, like a consistent side income.
Right.
So you want to be if your goal is to make like a consistent side income, you want to be as robotic as possible. So just sell them. I would, especially if I was newer to sports cards, right? You want to see the money come in as soon as possible. I would sell everything right away when you get it back from grading, then move your money into football. And following the timing the market is one of the most important things, because when I first got into sports cards, I would do everything correctly. I would buy the right cards, get them graded. They would grade at 10, but sometimes I'd lose money. And it took me years and years to finally figure out why sometimes I would lose money. Even if a card graded at 10, I'd be like, oh, I bought this card in March, got it back in May, and it's a baseball card. And I saw a trend over years and years and years of, wait a second, most guys go down in value. It's kind of like, how old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
70.
Oh, 70. Okay, good. 70. So I barely remember this because I'm 20. But every season that starts, it's almost like the 2000 crisis, right? You have all this crap, like all these baseball players that are selling for so much money because of just hype and demand and just expectation. And then when the season actually starts, or when it's time to actually pay the mortgage, they can't do it. And then it crashes. Not every player, but a lot of players. Just because that's just the reality of sports, is most players don't live up to expectations. So, yeah, my best piece of advice is you buy players when they're not playing, and then you sell them right before they start playing. Do that,
Right.
and you'll do pretty decent for yourself.
I do have a question on a slightly different topic. I can't find a link to get into this program. I just called the phone number. I can't see it on screen at all.
Well, so if you're looking to join the program, if it makes sense for you, so what's your phone number? Is the number you're calling from right now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll have someone reach out to you, and if you're interested in joining the program, although I wouldn't join unless you have, like I always tell people, you want at least a few grand in spending capital for the program to make sense. You could buy the proper amount of cards.
Fear not there. I'm a member of the program. I mean today's program. I can't get it on
you are
the
in the
computer. I
program
don't have
already.
a link to get in. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have someone text you in the next 10, 20 minutes with the link to log in. And then you could just put in your email and click forgot password, and it'll send you a reset.
Okay, that'd be great.
Okay, and the phone number you signed up with is the same phone number you're calling from right now?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
And by the way, I've been doing great. Since the start of the year, I'm up about 11 grand.
Oh, nice. So up 11 grand in profit?
Yes.
Nice. So you're saying the program actually works. Oh my God.
This program actually works.
You know what? Now people are going to comment on YouTube or wherever people are watching this, and they're going to think I paid you to say that.
Nope, you have not paid me. You just gave me great advice. Half a loaf is better than no loaf. So when I get the cards back, I'll sell them, and next year I'll be ready to go at the right time.
Yep.
I'll do football. I'm a big baseball fan, so it's a lot easier for me. So I'm having to learn the card companies of football and basketball. So I'll catch up. I got a lot of time.
Sounds good. Well, I'm glad you're up 11 grand in profit. That sounds like a plan. I just actually texted you myself the link. You could click that link and it'll bring you back inside the program, and you can just click forgot password and it'll give you a new password.
Excellent.
All right, Patrick. Well, any other questions, sports cards related or anything else I can help you with?
You're doing great. Keep on trucking, man. We love you.
All right. I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right. Later.
See ya. We calling someone back?
Ground beef.
Hello? Hey, you got Eric. You're live?
Oh, how you doing? Yes, yeah, you're live.
Oh, yeah, we're live right now. What's your name?
My name is Ventura Cias.
Okay, and how may I help you, Ventura?
Okay, I've been collecting well over 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So majority of the cars I got ready to grade.
Okay, cool.
I have more some of my cars at Victor Wembanyama and all that, but I mainly collected Jordan doing when they're winning the championships and champions era. So that's how I made my collection based on.
Yep.
And so I'm not a fan of sending off cards in the mail.
Okay.
So what I do, we got the Nationals coming in Chicago in April.
Yep.
So I
July.
would
Late,
grade
late,
them over.
late July, early August is the Nationals.
Yes, yes. So what I do, I'll go to the convention and greet them there. I
That's
submit them, and at the end of the day, they're passed to me.
yes. So my advice
It's,
to you, my advice to you with that is get to the show as early as humanly possible. Because if you get there, the way it works at these card shows, especially with PSA, is they will increase. They'll start to increase. I don't know if they do this anymore. At least they used to. They'll start to increase the price as they run out of supply. So,
well, see, I'm not a fan of PSA. I
oh,
like
okay,
SGC because
gotcha.
I've seen so many people submitting cards, then they look in the magnifying glass, the light ones, and they're perfect, and they come out with a 6. And I see people pissed off, and
Yep.
I'm
So
not a fan of PSA.
okay, so then SGC, you'll be fine. You could submit cards there. They should be grading cards at the National. I'm not sure about SGC, but they should be. The only thing I would look out for is one, make sure the cards are in good condition, and two, make sure it's worth it to get a card graded. So what I would do if I was in your shoes, if you wanted to send cards to SGC, is if these cards are in really good condition, like I think you're saying, is make sure it's an SGC 9 because it's going to be hard to get a 9.5 or an SGC 10. It's going to at least double your money. So if you have
Like,
if it's going to cost you $15 to get a card graded, you want to make sure an SGC 9 is going to be worth at least $30, right? Because it's not going to be worth it if the cost of the price of the card is going to be $15 after you're done getting it graded. So that would be my piece of advice
yes,
just to do. Obviously, it depends on the card and the condition. But that's just a general piece of advice.
yes. Like for example, I invested money in the Flair Showcase 96, 97. Back then, the cards boxes on $80
Yeah, they're worth more
compared
now.
to now. Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you don't guarantee the Jordans, but I with my lucky ass, I got one. I got Rose Zero. The only problem with the card, it's a manufacturer defect on the card,
Oh, then I would not
which
send.
is
I would
a
not send it.
little like a line in between. In a minute, it's not bad, but it's not my fault. It's something that comes from the manufacturer. But
Gotcha.
it is a Rose Zero.
And
It is my.
let me ask you a question just to help you out before I let you go. Did you have a Kobe Bryant from that case?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. Those were the ones
No,
that are
no.
worth a lot of money.
Of course I know,
Yeah.
but I had the Jordan,
So
and I was lucky enough to get that.
here, so what I would do, I'll share my screen so hopefully you could see this. I don't know if you're watching it live, but for the audience at least.
Yes, I am.
So okay, you are. So it's gonna be a little delayed for you. So if it has a defect, so and this card grade's an SGC 9, yeah, it depends on how bad the defect is. You could send a picture of the card into this number, and I
It's
will.
not bad. It's not bad.
So what I would do
It's not bad.
is I don't have a picture of the card. I would look at the card, like look at these SGC 9s, and compare your card to this, and see, okay, is my card better or worse? Does my card have a defect on it or not? And that'll give you a good determinant whether or not to send it in for grading. So that's what I would do.
Well, I got
I would look at others.
my corners. I keep everything in condition. I take them right from the package into packaging, and I put them away. So that's my hobby. My habit. I would buy cards, buy boxes, package stuff, and put them away. Forget about them. That's one day I was looking at. I heard about LeBron James. Who's that? I dug them out of the case. I had one. I had the Topps Chrome. So
Oh,
I had the grader
that's
last
good.
year. A couple years ago, I had a 9. Of course, someone's always hopes 10, but I got a 9.
Yeah. Well, at least you probably sold that card for over $1,000.
Well, I haven't sold it yet. It's the one coming in April. This August. I might sell it there.
Nice. Well, I hope it goes well for you. Do you have any other questions for me?
No, that's about it. I'm just saying, for me, I got the cars already to grade, so I'm not going to invest money in buying cars to grade. I already have them.
Yep. Hey,
So
that sounds good to me. Well, I do appreciate you calling in, Ventura.
thank you very much. I'll send you some pictures if I have time.
Sounds like a plan. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes for you.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Bye bye. Oh, wow. There's a lot of people calling in. I don't have time to look at cards. This is usually my time to look at cards and buy them and get them graded. Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hey, you got Eric live?
Yep. So I have a couple of these Derek Jeter autos.
Well, what's your name? Give me your name first.
Jordan.
Jordan. What's up, Jordan? Let's go for it.
I have a couple of these Derek Jeter autographs.
Okay.
Tops now.
Okay. What year?
And I'm 2009.
So it's 2009. Derek Jeter. What is it?
Tops now. It was when he one of them. It's when he won his first World Series MVP.
Okay. Got
I
it.
think that's the year. I can't really find any comps on it because it's an auto out of 99. How would you like price comps if you can't find any?
Now, are you sure the card's from? Do you have a picture of the card?
Yeah.
Do you have it on you right now?
Yes, I could go get it.
Yeah, go get it because I'm not sure what card you're referring to, and send a picture to this number and do it now if you could, because there's a lot of people waiting to call in, and then I'll pull up a picture and show you what I think it's worth, because I don't know if there's any.
Yeah.
2009? You mean 2019 or 2020?
Maybe let me check. I'm checking right now.
Yeah. Send me a picture. That'll give me a better idea, so I could help you.
I have a couple, but this is one of the ones that I like.
Oh, I see you have a 973 area code. We're from the same area.
Oh, yeah, New Jersey.
Our office is in Tampa, but I'm originally from Wayne, New Jersey.
Yeah, that's only like a few minute drive from me.
Nice, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll send you the picture.
Okay, so yeah, do me a favor. Send me the picture. Do you want to send it now while you're on the phone with me, so I can tell you the best piece of advice if you have any questions? Yes.
I'll send you it right now.
Yes, send it now, so I can make sure you do the right thing. How'd you acquire the card?
It was a gift from someone that actually worked for Tops. He gave me a few actually.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and it's 99 out of 99. Last one.
Oh, okay. Kav, you sent it to me. Hold on, I'm just pulling. I'm sending the card to myself right now, so I can pull it up in front of the live, in front of everybody, so everyone can see. All right, so this is it. Tops now out of 99. So I think this is from 2020. Let me look this up. It's Tops now out of 99. Derek Jeter auto. And is the card in good condition?
Yeah, great condition.
Okay. So all these cards.
I was thinking of, yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was thinking of sending it to PSA. I just wanted to make sure the comps were good.
Yeah, the comps. So all these cards, all these Tops Now cards, in my experience, are gonna sell for around the same. That card's worth about $350 to $400 in that range, and it depends on the condition. So we look here at the condition. So what you want to look for on this card. So since the card is all colored, since it's like black on the top and the bottom.
Yeah.
The problem with cards like this is so the corners chip easy. And when you send a card to PSA, they care about the corners a lot. So if there's any whiting on the corners, like just a little bit of whiting, I would not send it in, because it's going to grade a PSA 9, and it's going to be a waste of your time because the card's not going to increase in value. So if the corners look perfect and they look like sharp, like right angles, like 90 degrees, and there's no whiting, I would send it in. If there is whiting, I would not. I can't see it that well from this picture, but that bottom left corner, let's see if I can zoom in. The bottom left corner looks like there could be white. I can't see it that well, but that's what I would look for. So if the corners look good, send it in. If they don't look good, I would just sell it as is, if that's what you're looking to do, and sell it.
Yeah, because I have like a few more and one's numbered out of three is numbered out of 49, and the other two are numbered out of 99. So
Okay, in the out of 49, it's probably
Yeah.
worth probably around the same, probably not much more. Yeah, it's probably, even though you would think it's worth more because it's out of 49 instead of 99. For some reason, it's not. I don't know why, but they're worth all about in that 350, 400 range. But that's what I would, on those cards, if I was sending them in for grading, that's what I would be looking at. I'd be looking at those corners, and if corners look good, it goes in. If you see any whiting, it's not going to grade a 10. They're pretty strict on the corners.
yeah, like that one. That's one I have. The on the right.
Uh,
No, it's $5.99 just sold for.
oh wait, let me share my screen again
Uh,
and pull it up. Which one?
It was out of $4.99. The Derek Cheater one. I just saw it on the
Oh wait, out of $4.99 or
last year.
$49?
49.
Oh, $49. Okay, yeah, $49. Gotcha. So that card as a 9.5 is
Yeah.
sold for about, actually let me tell you. I'll tell you exactly what that card's worth. Just to give you a better idea. So even on eBay it says it sold for 600. Sometimes that's a lie because it won't show you what it actually sells for. So hold on, just look this up for you on 130 point tops at 49 Derek Jeter auto tops now. Let's see. So that card actually sold for, so one sold for 324 in auction. So yeah, the card's worth like 350, 400. But as a PSA 10, if I had to
Mhm.
guess, it would be worth like 700
Mhm.
about. So yeah, that's what I'd be looking at, those corners, to answer your question.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. A random question. Shouldn't you be in school?
Yeah, school off today
Ah,
for Ramadan.
okay. Gotcha. Okay, well, good for you for listening to a
Mm.
podcast and trying to get better. Any other questions for me?
Are you gonna be at Fanatics Fest?
Fanatics Fest? No, I'm actually speaking at a business conference that weekend. Our company, we'll have a few coaches, like people who coach the students there set up.
Mhm.
You'll see it's Carolina blue everywhere and our logo everywhere, but I specifically won't be there, unfortunately.
Yeah, but thanks.
Yeah, no problem, Jordan. Good luck out there. Any other questions? Just let me know.
Yep.
All right. See ya. Bye. That kid's smart. He had to be what, 12? 13, 12, 13. Hello?
Hello.
You got Eric live? You have a question for me? You're live right now.
Yeah,
How can I help?
I was I was just wondering. I got a Jaden Daniels kaboom, and I don't know how much they like sell for. Do you know how much they sell for?
Yes, sir. Well, I can tell you. So I'll share my screen and show you. So it's a Jaden Daniels. It's Jaden Daniels. Kaboom. How'd you get it? Through a break?
Yeah, I was ripping and I got it.
Well, I could tell you ripping open packs and cases probably going to lose you money in the long run, just to let you know. But
Okay.
that card, not graded, seems like it's worth about 2 to 2,500, and it's a 10, a PSA 10. One sold for 4,100, and another sold for 4,200. So I'd probably say that card's worth about $2,000, and graded a 10, it's worth double.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Yep, no problem. That was a quick one. Yeah, why are there so many callers today? It's insane. I don't think we've ever had this many callers. Can you make a living off? This is a good question. Yes, you could. I'll go more into it in a second.
Hello.
What's up, man? You got Eric. You're live on air.
Hey, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing well.
We've
What's your name?
my name's Ron.
Ron. What's up, Ron?
We've actually spoken before, and I was the guy that had the stroke and had all these cards in the back of a storage unit.
Okay, well, I hope you're doing better. But how may I?
Oh, much better.
Good.
I'm gonna unload these cards. 'Cause I just don't have the capability to do with them any justice. And at the time, you said you better be careful because you might take advantage of me. Um, and I don't know the best way to do this or anything like that. did a count, and I'm up to like 22,000 cards,
What
all
years are
in
they from?
sleeves. They range from they range from late 90s up to 2006, 2007. Um, I've got they're all in good shape. I've got some really good ones, and of course, some of them are crap.
Yeah.
Um,
What would be the best?
but
Give me a little bit of a refresher. What would be like the best card you have if you had to take a guess?
um, probably I've got a Tom Brady 10. I don't have a lot of them that have gone through the PSA work mill. I've been kind of unhappy with them lately. Um, but I've got duplicates of a lot. I've got like like 31 Ken Griffey Juniors. I, I've got books of really popular.
Yeah. So th- the way, and I'm assuming your question is, how do I sell them? How do I make the most amount of money off them?
Well, I'm not looking to make huge amounts of money off of them either because I got them for free.
Okay, I mean, you might as
Um,
well maximize off of them.
yeah, yeah, I'd like to do that, but I don't know the right way to do it, or who even might be interested in that many cards.
Yeah, no one's going to be interested in that many cards. The way for you to make the most amount of money. So out of those 22,000 cards, maybe you have at the most 100 or 200 or a few hundred cards actually worth grading. Just somebody has to go
Yeah,
through it that knows what they're doing. Pick out the
yeah,
cards to be graded, send those off to grading, you sell them, and then all the other cards, I mean, no one wants that many cards that are worth nothing from the, you know, 90s to
yeah.
2000s. You might as well donate them for free and be a good person, but you can maximize off of the cards that are being worth graded. You just need where do you live in the country?
I'm not far from you guys. I'm in Lakeland, Florida.
Oh,
You
that's
guys are
right. Oh, yeah.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. We're not far from each other.
You're not, yeah, you're not
And
far.
I've set aside the boxes that I thought would be of value, and I think I've got a bunch of sevens, I'm sorry, eight, nines, and
So
tens.
I'll tell you what. Look, why don't we do this since you're literally probably 20 minutes away from me?
Yep.
I'll come to I'll shoot you a text. Copyright. Do me a favor, write this down so we don't forget. I'll shoot you a text. I'll come over to you if I could this week or next week, for
Okay.
free. Help you out. I'm gonna just bring my camera so I can record it, and I will show you how to. And I'm not gonna take a penny from you. I'm just gonna show you how to sell them and make as much money as possible for them, and tell you what cards need to be graded.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Yeah. I use the card dealer guys, and I'm just fed up with them.
Yeah,
They're
pain in the
they're they're
butt.
s- they are, and I can't get their 2.0 to work. And all I get is we'll read the directions, and I've read three binders of directions and installed and reinstalled 4 or 5 times. I have no desire to scan another card.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not the yeah, you can't go through that and that many cards and do that. I'll come to you and I could just I've been doing this a long time. I can just look at them and I'll get through them
yeah.
pretty quickly and I'll just tell you what needs to be done. I won't take a penny from you. I promise.
If you want them, if there's something you see of value that you want, you tell me.
Okay. Well, yeah, if I want to
And
buy anything, I'll buy it off you, but I'll just be coming to you and using it for content purposes so I could, make a YouTube video of it, but also to help you as well
okay,
since you are only like 20 minutes away from me.
alrighty,
All right, cool.
that sounds good.
I'll shoot you a text later on today, and we'll set something
Okay,
up.
sounds. And you have my text number
Yep, it's
or my text.
this number, right?
And this is my phone number. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
best way to get me.
I'll text this number.
Alrighty, thanks so much.
All right, no problem. I'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty, bye bye.
Bye bye. That'll be interesting. Going through a collection. I wonder. He said he has some Tom Brady stuff, so there must be something decent. You got Eric. You're live. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man? You got Eric.
How are you? My name is Tony.
Tony. Nice
I
to meet
just
you.
You too, buddy. I have a question. I recently acquired a pink Monopoly Caitlin Clark to 149
Okay,
PSA 10.
got it.
Uh, okay. I've just been getting back into it, and from
Yep.
what like some of my buddies and some of the people in the community are telling me is that the Pandora most likely won't hold. Not the Pandora, the pink Monopoly won't hold value over the long run. And do you believe in that? Is this a card I should be looking to get rid of quick
Okay.
or hold on to because it is Caitlin Clark?
So, well, number one, just to help you out, do you know what the card is worth right now, or do you need me to look it up and tell you?
There's only been one sale on it, and you know what's funny is it got sold on the day that I bought it, and as the guy and me were talking, he went to look to see if there was any sales on it, and he had it marked about $50, $60 less than what it was. So he had said, I'm marking this up the second you walk away. You don't take it now. I was taking it then anyway. I had some cards he wanted trade wise. So I got into it cheaper. Needed to because I didn't pay that much on those other cards. I won of them in a poker game. So I walked into a lot of value on the one card. So it sold for 500
Yep, I
two
see it.
weeks ago. But back then it was only a pop two. I think there's four now. Within 2 weeks, two more were graded tens. Uh, what would your advice be on doing with something like that
Yep, and then
with
also,
her as a player?
more importantly, you said you just got back in. Is your goal to just do this for fun? Is your goal to turn this into like a side income on top of your job?
No, definitely a side income.
Okay, so like your goal is to, like, it would be cool if you could make an extra few grand a month from flipping sports cards.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
So, and have you watched my content before or not much?
yes. I have actually. Last summer, I talked to your team. I was close to joining. Me and my wife wound up being in the middle of moving,
Gotcha.
and just things got put by the side. We're finally comfortable. We're in the new place. It's very nice,
Cool.
and now I have time to kind of get back into it.
Okay, gotcha. So my sales guy couldn't get you over the edge.
It was close. It was
It was a
close,
close
man.
one.
But with
Yeah,
moving
yeah.
and everything, I just needed to give time to the wife and to get everything done first. That's all.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Okay, so I'll pretend you're a student in the program and I'll tell you what a coach would tell you. So
All right.
most young players don't perform up to expectation. Okay. Caitlin Clark's a little bit different because she's kind of like an icon, but
Yes.
your goal is to make a few $1,000s a month, right?
Yeah, I'm not attached to the card at all.
Yeah. So that specific card, Monopoly Prism, whoever told you that it probably won't sustain value is right. So Prism, right, there's a difference between Monopoly Prism and regular Prism,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah. No, I'm way into the hobby.
Okay. So
I
Monopoly,
understand. I just don't understand the monopoly part of it.
yeah, so basically what these sports card companies do is they just want to come up with excuses to print more cards because the more cards they print, more packs they can sell, more money they can make, and they have to keep up with the demand of the hobby. So it was just like a little unique idea. Panini's like, okay, people love Prism. Why don't we come up with something called Monopoly Prism? And it's not bad; it does decent. But yeah, those usually don't sustain value. So number one, any Monopoly Prism, I would tell you to sell because that card, even if Caitlin Clark plays well, will probably be worth less in the future. Number one. Number two, even if that card, if I told you, hey, that card is going to double in value in the next 9 months, if let's say you knew that for a fact, you should still sell it because money is worth, like, if you're buying cards and getting them graded, take that Caitlin Clark, for example. I don't know how you got it, but you could have bought that card for $200 and now it's worth 500. You can repeat that process 2, 3, 4 times over before that card ever doubles in 9 months. And odds are there's a 95% chance that card will not go up in value in the next year. It's just how sports cards works. Caitlin Clark could be a little bit different, but she's not going to like triple in value or anything crazy. Most young players don't perform up to expectations. Even me, I've been in sports cards for a long, long time, and it's impossible to predict who the next great player is. Just look at all the young guys that have failed. And I could share my screen, and it'll be a little bit delayed for you, but I'll show you. Like, just let's go back to last year, right? Like, Bryce Young was a huge name. Everyone was like, Bryce Young is, gonna be great and blah 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 blah. And you could see how much his card value is down and it's come back up a little bit. And then you have CJ Stroud as well. CJ Stroud last year in the offseason was like the Jaden Daniels of now, and you could see same thing.
Yeah.
His card is worth way less. And if you go to basketball, because you're using a basketball example, Wembenyama, if you look at his Prism PSA 10, you could see this card is just
Okay.
worth just way, way down. So it's just how sports cards works, and just odds are holding it's just a terrible idea. Caitlin Clark, she probably won't go down in value because she's like an icon, but it's not going to double because people just don't care
No,
about the
yeah.
WNBA that much. So my advice to you is always sell right away and follow. Do you know how have you seen me talk about timing the market?
Yeah, I've seen every one of your videos.
Okay, cool.
I'm very versed in everything you usually preach on every one of these live streams, every wallers and everything.
Cool.
Do you think it is beneficial to maybe wait a couple more weeks, like 2 or 3 more weeks, being that we're getting closer to the start of WNBA season, or just get rid of it within a week?
If it was my card, I would sell it today because even if that card,
Okay.
let's say it's worth $500 right now, and let's say you wait like WNBA. So right, you have basketball, football, and baseball, like the men's sports, the regular ones. The reason I tell people and I myself buy in the offseason and sell leading up to the season is because there's so much hype and demand. So take the NFL, for example. There's just so much hype that people get so excited about these players, you could sell it into that hype and usually make a decent profit because there's so many fans. Are there a lot of fans of the WNBA? Not really. So even hockey, for example, the whole timing the market thing doesn't work as well because there's just not as many fans.
Yeah.
The reason these cards appreciate as you get closer to the season is because people are just getting excited for the start of the season. They're just bidding up these cards. There's more people bidding on these football cards, and it goes up and up. It's not the case for WNBA. It's not really the case for hockey. It doesn't work for UFC. Like, people have asked me, "Hey, should I buy this UFC guy and sell it right before his fight in 2 months?" No, it just doesn't go up like it does for the three main sports because there's not as many fans, right? It's right. We're piggybacking off of like the hype and that's created by all the fans and how much they're willing to spend on these cards. But WNBA doesn't have fans. Besides, there's Caitlin Clark fans, but they're just Caitlin Clark fans. They're not like gonna get like super excited and hyped that her season's starting. People, I think the WNBA lost $40 million last year. So
Yeah.
yeah. So my advice to you, if it was my card, would be sell it.
You got it, buddy.
Eh,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem, man.
All right, brother.
All right, bye bye.
Hello.
Hey, you got Eric. You're live.
Hey, Eric. How's it going, man?
What's up, man? What's your name?
Patrick, and I'm calling from California. Man, I got up early to listen to your live, and man, I want
Ah,
to thank you first.
I
I
appreciate
want to
that.
thank you first, man. First, just your act of kindness, helping that gentleman out that lives pretty close to you, um, made my heart warm this morning. Um,
Well, cool.
uh,
Well, to be honest with you,
so
I am willing to help
go
him,
ahead.
but also the selfish part of me is I'm going to create content out of it as well. I would do it even
Oh
outside of the
yeah,
content. I just want to let you know there is a little bit of a selfish motive as well. But yeah, I'm more than happy to go out of my way and help. But I appreciate those words.
yeah, yeah. No, no, no. It's mutual. So I just always like when people reach out to others. But I mean, you definitely have to make a living, and you have to definitely keep
Hmm.
your business going. But I had a two-part question.
Go
Um,
for it.
so my ultimate goal is to um, have some extra income. Um, I do work full time, but just some extra income, and I want to start a my personal collection.
Hmm.
But I want to make some money as well. So it's just kind of different lanes. Um,
Yep.
I started off with I have hundreds and hundreds of original Star Wars cards,
Oh, wow.
and
Interesting.
I
Okay.
yeah, um, hundreds. From 1977, and the 50-year anniversary is coming up. in pretty good condition, stickers and original cards. So my first question would be, should I get them graded? Now, some of the corners are, showing the whites, but
Where do you live in California?
overall, up in Northern California in Sacramento.
Okay, got it. I was just asking because the PSA facility is it in Santa Ana, California, I think? So I was just curious how close you
It's
were.
in Southern California. It's in Southern California, but I hear they do ship some of the cards to the East Coast
Yeah,
from
yeah,
from what I
they
heard
ship
from
everywhere in the country. I was just gonna say, if you have that many
yeah,
cards that are in good condition, I was gonna tell you, hey, you could just like don't mail it, just like drive 20 minutes, but you're gonna want to mail it because you're too far. You're like an 8 hour
yeah.
drive.
Right. So yeah, California is huge. But I was going to ask, should I grade them TSA or another company just to get them graded and just to get them on board, or should I just sell them raw
Yeah,
to build my bank?
okay. Okay. So you have a collection that's actually seems like it's worth something. You want to sell that collection, use the money to start to buy and sell sports cards and turn it into an income.
Yes, sir. And then at the back end, part of that income, I want to build my personal collection. I was able to, again, I'm all over the place a little bit. I was able to get some Pokemon boxes, cards. I flipped those, saved some of that money, but I also bought a 1957 Sandy Koufax, and it graded a 6. So that's just kind of like
Okay. So this is what
holding
I would
to that
do.
money.
So you could write
Go
this.
ahead.
You could. Sorry to cut you off, but I just don't want to forget my thought because it's going to help you. So you could write this down and just remember it. So in step by step order, first you want to maximize and sell this collection you have. Then number two, you want to turn sports cards into an income, get going, making hopefully a grand, 2 grand, 3 grand a month, whatever is your goal. Then step three, then you could piece off some of the money you're making and use it to build your personal collection. Building a personal collection is usually a losing game, right? Because you're just spending money. It's just for fun, and then it's the opposite of
Yeah,
making an income. They don't go hand in hand. So like I tell people,
yeah,
hey, great, you want to build a personal collection. I have one too of Babe Ruth cards, but do it after you're making an income, right? Let's not waste money first. So
right,
that's the
right,
step. That's
right.
the step by step. Now the most important thing is maximizing the collection you have. So it sounds like original Star Wars cards sell for, any original Star Wars card graded a 10 is going to be selling for, at the minimum 500, 600. I'm sure there's cards out there like I'm on eBay right now just looking at these cards. I'm not the expert with Star Wars cards, but like there's cards
Right.
out there of like, Luke Skywalker that are going to sell for 3, 4, 5, $6,000. So
Right.
now, just general rule of thumb. So, okay. So, how good of condition are these cards in?
They're pretty good. I mean, long story, but I got the original packs from my granddad back
Ah.
in the day, and I just carried them around with me for all these years. And I just like Star Wars, but I didn't play with the card. I didn't
So
go through them, so they
you
look
open the packs, correct?
good.
These packs are
I
open.
opened the packs,
Okay.
but I did not. They're in really good condition, in my opinion.
Okay.
Um,
So,
And that's why I was like, should I just sell them raw? Now, over the years, I can see some of the whiting on the corners, but they're not like, you just have to look. If you look really good, you can
mhm.
see some of the whitings, but other than that, there, no creases, no stains, none of that. And I have all the series, the first 5 series. Uh, I just wanted to know, and it's just a lot of cars to get graded. So I
Yeah.
was like, hey, should I go through a cheaper company?
No.
Um,
No,
what's
don't be cheap.
no,
Put it because it's just gonna cost you money. So what I would do is one. So the problem with those cards is what you just said, the whiting on the corners. If you see whiting on the corners, I would not get those cards graded. Send them, put them in a different stack. Don't grade them. I would only send
okay,
in the cards that in your eyes you think are really good or close to perfect. Like, and when I say
okay,
perfect, the main thing you want to be looking for is those corners. If the corners look like sharp right
right,
angles and like there's no whiting, put them in a different stack. Okay. So
Okay.
then
Okay.
you're gonna have a stack of cards that in your eyes you deem perfect or close to perfect. At least they have really good corners. And then what you're gonna do if and you could send me pictures of the cards as well, so I could help you out as well. I'm not gonna charge you anything,
I will.
just for calling in.
Okay.
And then you want to assume the card is gonna grade a 9. It could grade a 10, probably won't happen. Whatever cards are in this stack, you're gonna assume they're gonna grade a 9. And then what you're gonna do is then go on eBay, look at sales of cards, and only sending cards that, as graded a 9, are worth $50 or more. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. Yes.
So you have one stack of cards in shitty condition, another stack of cards that have really good or close to perfect corners. Then you're going to go through that stack of good condition cards and then start looking up sales on eBay. And if it's graded, if it's worth at least $50 as a 9, send it in for grading. If it's not worth $50, put it in the other stack and I could help you sell those cards, or you could just auction them on eBay because they'll still do okay on eBay.
And then should I sell those on eBay? Because I heard sometimes you said eBay is not the best place to
Yeah, I would
sell.
just auction those on eBay, just one by one.
Okay.
That's what
Okay.
I would do.
Okay.
But send in the other ones for grading, and then if you had a guess, do you know how many cards do you have total?
Uh, more than 500 for all the series, and I have Star Wars Empire Strikes Back as well.
Okay, so I'm
Um,
assuming you have at least, I'm just totally guessing here, 5 to 10 grand in cards, probably more. I'm just throwing a number out there. But then you're
I
gonna
pro- yeah, 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 something crazy. Yeah.
yeah, it depends on how these cards grade because you could have a card that's worth $100, but as a 10, it's worth 2 grand, right? So it really depends on the grades of these cards as well. But once you get that money, let's say you get 10, 20, 30 grand, whatever it might be, then you're going to take that money and start doing the same thing. Hopefully that's going to give you some free knowledge on grading sports cards. And you're going to take your grading knowledge and start to follow what I say about buying sports cards, timing the market. You can even buy Pokemon as well. And using that money to start buying sell sports cards. Hopefully get up to like a grand, 2 grand, 3 grand a month consistent profits. Then you can start to piece off some of that money and build your PC.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's the percentage? Because you said, hey, you want to make money, but we make money to save some of it and spend some. And so, what would you suggest a good ratio to save to spend it on that PC? Because I mean I do like the older cards, the vintage cards.
Yeah, a rule of thumb for me. So I'll tell you, this is one of the greatest bit. This is like kind of relevant. So one of the greatest business books I ever read was called "How to Never Lose a Customer Again" or "How to Never Lose a Customer Again" by Joey Coleman. Very sort of a famous business book. And in that book, he preaches that every single dollar you make as a business, you should
Mhm.
spend 5% of your profits and give that back in gifts to your clients or students. So for example, when you join our program, like our higher end program, we send everyone
Okay.
customized gifts and we spend about 5% of our profits on gifts for students. So literally like 5% of our company profits go back to our students for like customized like gifts, handbags for their wives and custom
Right.
charcuterie boards and all sorts of stuff that families like. So I would apply that same rule of thumb because it's a gift to yourself. So take 5% of your profits, but I would not buy anything for your PC for at least the first 6 months. I would just reinvest, reinvest, reinvest. Then look at how much money you're making, and then
Okay.
you take 5%.
Okay. Okay. That man, I appreciate that, Eric. I'm not in your program. I've seen some of your ads, but I haven't seen the links to look at your program, so
Yes.
I can.
So if you
Uh,
if you click
but
on if you click on the ad, it's gonna ask you
okay.
to put in your information. After you put in your information, there's a video. It's called a webinar.
Okay.
It'll take you about 30 minutes to watch. And at the end of the webinar, after like 30 minutes in, it'll let you buy what we call our academy program. It's like our intro program. It's not expensive. I'm not gonna say the price because we change the price sometimes up and down,
Right.
but it's not expensive. So when you see an ad,
Okay.
click on it.
Okay. I have some savings, but I wanted to just use the cards as, the source of
Yeah, if you
that
I mean,
that side.
honestly,
Go ahead.
what I would tell you, and I hate to sound like I'm like a salesman over here, but if you have like I tell people like don't join our program unless you have a few grand and extra cash to spend.
Yeah.
But I'd probably join the program first, then start piecing off the collection because you could just have one of our coaches help you instead of you guessing and doing it yourself.
Okay. All
So
right. Yeah, I have savings. I have a, a decent amount of savings. I was just wanted to start like, ground level and see and like I said, I made a little money and that's why I was so excited that I was like, man, I'm a huge Dodger fan. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get this Sandy Koufax. Um Met this guy in the card
yeah,
shop
do
and
you want me
he but
to help you out?
but
Do you
yes.
want a coach? Do you want me to tell you a
uh,
coach to call you?
Yes, please, please.
Okay, so I'll write your number down. They'll shoot you a call, and if it makes sense, they'll then set you up on a call with another coach, and then he's going to attempt to sell you into the program and see if it makes sense, just to be transparent. So that's the exact
Hey,
process.
oh no. That's fine, man. I got up early to listen to your show, so I'm really excited about just having this as a business and making some money. That's the bottom line. Um,
Cool.
but I enjoy sports, so this is just part of it.
Sweet. Well, I'll have a coach who's trained by me shoot you a call. They'll see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, they'll tell you don't do it. If it makes sense, they'll tell you to do it. And then yeah, I'd wait for that call. Don't do anything. And if it makes sense and you end up joining, you can just get on a Zoom call with the coach and they'll just walk you through what they would do. So you don't have to guess or hopefully because you sounds like you could possibly have a lot of money in that collection. You don't want to make any mistakes.
Right, right, and that's why I just been kind of a little bit all over the place reading a couple of things. Your YouTube came up, and I'm like, man, this guy knows what he's doing. He's been around for, I think you said about 10 years, and I
Hmm.
think you're just solid as far as uh, you know what you're doing. You can tell when somebody knows what they're doing. Um,
I appreciate that. I like to
yeah,
think so. I've been
yeah,
doing it 10 years, been teaching it for 5 years. So
right,
yeah, I'll tell some and
right.
remind me your name one more time. Sorry, I forgot.
Patrick, Patrick. I might
Patrick.
not even told you. Patrick.
Patrick. No,
Yeah,
you
yep.
told me in the beginning. Gotcha, Patrick. So I'll have a coach call
Okay,
you. Sounds like you could have a lot of money there. And any other questions you have, just feel free to call in or just let me know.
sounds good, man. I appreciate you guys.
All right, Patrick. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you, sir.
See ya. Bye. Man, someone said in the comments this is AI. I feel like that's a compliment because it kind of says that I look good if you think it's AI, but this is not AI. Promise you, I am alive right now. And then eventually this live will be uploaded as a recording to YouTube, and it won't be live if you're watching this on YouTube.
Hello, this is Jordan again. So
What's
I
up,
just
Jordan?
called before. I just saw this and I wanted to get your take on this.
Okay.
eBay just announced that now, when you buy a card from eBay,
Yep.
you have the choice to send it in
Mm-hmm.
to PSA, but
Yep.
it can't be an autograph, and it has to be over $250. What do you think about
Yeah. I would always want to send cards into myself first, personally. So, because
that? Yeah.
you could wipe marks off them and stuff. So, in terms of like what I do, me personally, I wouldn't use the feature.
Mhm.
So yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
sure
that's all.
it sounds useful, but just it's not
Yeah.
something I would use.
Mhm.
Did he hang up? That's like a 12-year-old, 13-year-old thing to do. Someone else? Damn, a lot. Wow.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? You got Eric? You're live.
Oh, hey, Eric. How you doing?
What's up,
Sorry,
man?
must have been a little delay on there.
Nah, no worries. What's your name? Who is this?
Yes, give me 1 second. Hang on.
Yep, no problem.
Yes, my name's Chris.
Chris, what's up, Chris? How may I make your day better?
Well, so I've been listening and I've been in the
Mm-hmm.
program for almost 2 years now.
Two
So I'm gonna
years.
give.
Wow.
I just
Yeah.
want to. Yeah, I've been listening and I'm on the Facebook group and all that.
Nice.
And I go through it. I would just wanted to give some feedback back to you. I'm not here. You didn't pay me or anything, but again, it's done very valuable for myself, and what I've learned through it. And as long as I'm committed to staying on that track, it's done a lot of good for me. The one thing I saw, or the one thing that I got captured in, and I hear a lot of folks on, or I see the Facebook post about kind of stepping out and doing breaks and buying boxes. And so after
Mhm.
about a year doing the program, I started getting excited about cards because I really didn't know cards. So I started getting into a hype. So I started buying packs, and I could see myself, my revenue that was coming in, which I was making about 25 to 3,000 a month, started to diminish a lot quicker than when I was just flipping cards.
Yes, because correct. So wait, so this is Chris G, right?
Yes, I was. I think I was on one of your first things about when I first joined the program.
Yes, yes.
So
Cool. So
yeah,
you
so I just again, I'm just trying to let folks know. Again, I see some negative stuff about the program, and I just want and I try to even give feedback back on our Facebook group and all that stuff about. And I think the biggest thing is staying so consistent with what the program tells you. If you start diverting away from it, you're going to start seeing, that income that you had, consistently. You're going to start dabbling in the places that you shouldn't dabble.
Yeah, well, Chris, I do appreciate kind words. I've seen a lot of your success. So just to understand you, so you didn't know anything about sports cards. You joined, you got up to like 3 grand a month and started joining packs and breaks and started to lose some of that money.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I did. So
Well,
right, so I got back on track back in about November of last year. So just I could just see coming out of that, coming back into track, coming in, started selling my baseball as I was coming out. I'm right back into that 25 to 3 grand per month, profitability. So, I
nice.
took a dabble in that other side. I just try to tell people, and when I talk to folks and I see them at stores and stuff, is you know the consistent piece of it is that timing, the proper timing, the right player. I think there's a ton of value. You might get a loss here and there, but honestly, it's been very substantial and very valuable to myself and my family. My daughter's 17 now. We're purchasing a car and all that stuff
It
that
gets
probably
expensive,
wouldn't
man.
have been.
College car gets expensive.
Yeah, right. So again, I'm just giving you some feedback to the folks that are listening. Also, I have some friends and stuff, and I hear a lot of folks on the calls and in the Facebook groups talking about vintage cars and stuff like that. I think it's a cool thing to have. But I've had a couple of my friends and work partners and stuff, give me, boatloads of cards, and I go through them. And I mean, the time that is spent and the value that's there to try to see if we can make, money off of them, it just really wasn't there. I mean, there's a ton of trash that's out there. I think that the value in the vintage has got to be, certain cards. It's a lot of time spent going through thousands of cards and trying to find dabble in that. I'd rather spend my 4
Yeah.
hours a day.
Well, let me give you peace of mind. First of all, you already know this breaks and opening and packs. It's funny. It's a funny dynamic because it's what drives the hobby, but at the same time, it's just gambling. And once in a while, if you don't have an addictive personality, do it. It's fun. Give back to the hobby. Maybe you'll get lucky. That's number one. And then number two, in terms of what you were saying with the negative feedback, so you have to understand, especially something like Major League Profits. Like Major League Profits is just an educational institution, right? That's all it is. It's like I flip sports cards for 10 years. I give people my information. This is how to do it. And it's no different than college, right? You have people that go to college. Like I had a roommate my freshman year. He went to college and he did Adderall every day, did a bunch of coke, never went to class, never did his homework, and guess what? He failed out. Right? If you go to college, you don't attend class, you don't do what you're told, you're going to fail out, right? Just like Major League Profits, you could pay us money, but it doesn't mean you're going to make money. As long as you follow what we say, you do the home. There's no like homework, but you follow what we say, you follow directions, you listen diligently, you'll probably make money. If you don't, you're going to fail out and you're going to lose money. But the difference between Major League Profits versus college is people know for the most part, if you graduate from college and you do your homework, you're most likely going to get a job. people who fail out of major league profits and pay us money and don't follow directions, they think that the whole thing's just a scam and would never work anyways. So that's when they leave bad reviews. But you're one of the examples of someone that went to class, did their homework, and actually followed what we said, and now you're making $3,000 a month. But it's all we are, is, and I just give people my information. And yeah, are there people that have paid us money and have not made a dime and lost a lot of money because they did the opposite of what we tell them? Of course, 100%. But then there's also people like you that changed their lives from it. So I wouldn't get too hell bent about all the negative comments that that I get, because that's just part of the game, right? Also, we run a ton of ads and my face is everywhere, and we sell something. People hate people that sell things, because when people think of someone that sells something, they tend to think of like a greasy car salesman, where a car salesman just wants to take you for every penny and doesn't give a shit about you at all. In fact, in our case, we are actually looking to help as many people as possible, because people like you, right? You make money, you leave us reviews, you leave us testimonials, and the more success we get from people like you, we actually make more money ourselves because we get more referrals and testimonials. So, but just the name of the game I'm in, right? You get people that'll just pay us money and not do what we tell them to do. They're going to lose money, and then also people just hate someone that sells something. So that's why I get a lot of negative reviews. If you were curious.
Again, just calling to let you guys know I appreciate it. Coach Josh, I have as well. It's been great. The past 2 years, I don't have to be on calls as much, but he dropped. But I can text him or message him anytime. So I just a lot of value. It's just kind of what I'm saying. I just appreciate the program. Nothing. Again, just to those that are listening, you got to stay committed to it. Don't take that turn. Again, I lost probably money during the 6 months. I tried to do some breaks and stuff like that. Getting right back into it, I'm back into the the profitability side. So just some value feedback for those listening.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Chris. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Keep doing your things. To start buying football.
We're there.
All right, Chris. I'll talk to you later. See ya.
Bye.
Got more? Oh my Lord. I feel like Dave Ramsey over here. Just all these callers. But what's interesting is there's not as many people on the live. Hey, you got Eric here. You're live.
Yeah, hello. I've been looking at your program for a while, and I just started dabbling in cards. And I just want to say, like, sending your own cards to get them graded makes so much more sense than what we see everyone else on, like, YouTube and other social platforms doing when they're buying at 80% and then selling at 100% at card shows. Just the margins, and financially speaking, it just makes more sense to buy your own cards and grade them.
Yes. Well, what's your name?
My name's Bill.
Bill. Are you in the program or no?
No.
Okay, you were
I've just been following the YouTube, watching all the videos I
Gotcha,
can,
gotcha.
and
And you're saying that buying cards, getting them graded makes more sense as opposed to like buying cards already graded, right?
yes,
Yeah. So
yes,
yeah. So yes, you're right. In order to make a few thousand, to get up to like a few grand a month, buying cards, getting them graded, like Chris, who I don't know if you were listening, just got off the phone with, he's in the program. It's the easiest way to get started. The margins are high. As long as you're buying the right players and you're timing the market well, you'll do fine. It's hard to lose money, because if you buy a card for $100 and it grades a 9, you might lose 10% of your money. If it grades a 10, you're going to hopefully double to triple your money. So it's just a math game that makes a lot of sense. Doing it at scale, making 10, 15, 20 grand a month is a little bit more difficult. But yes, getting started to 3, 4, 5 grand a month grading cards, 100% is the way to go. However, what I would say is you could actually make a lot of money buying cards already graded. It's what I do now. I don't grade as many cards anymore. I do here and there just to stay in the game. But that requires buying cards for like $2, $3, $4, $5,000, flipping them and making a few grand and holding them for 3, 4 months. But yeah, and to get started, you are 100% correct.
awesome. That was the only thing I had.
Any questions or any seems like you've watched a lot
Nope.
of the content. Any need help with anything in sports cards?
Nope. Just thank you for what you're doing.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Have a good day.
You too. Bye bye. Drew, this is Drewski. What's the best way to build an online presence? Selling on eBay and have Facebook and Instagram? Should I pay for promotions? No, you should not pay for promotions. And honestly, on Instagram, all you really need to do is start following people and they'll follow you back. Having a big online presence when it comes to selling sports cards doesn't really matter. If you're selling the right stuff at the right time, if you go on any Facebook group and you post a card Like right now, Paul Skeens. If you go in any Facebook group, Paul Skeens is a hot name. You go and post him, and it's the right card at the right time. It'll sell. Doesn't matter if you're a nobody. It doesn't matter if you're somebody. Having an online presence doesn't matter as much as you might think. Cool. I think that's all the questions for now. We'll go back to buying cards because I do like to do that to give people value. Let's look at some cards to buy. What is Eric buying right now? Let's take a look. So let's delete some of these tabs here. So, Drake May. So let's see if his value went up at all. Probably not because his cards are still new. What I mentioned? Oh, yes, yes, yes. So when you're buying cards, one of my person next to me just told me to say this, which is a good point. When you're buying cards, especially football cards, the biggest indicator of someone's market value going up is if they pick up like weapons. So Drake May is a good example. His market may not have come up yet because his cards are still so new and they're still so like hyped. But because the Patriots got Stephon Diggs, you're going to see May's market value probably go up. If like CJ Stroud last year got Stephon Diggs as well and his value went up. If the Broncos draft a top caliber receiver, his value is going to go up. That's the biggest indicator of a QB's market going up in the offseason is new weapons. New weapons is what moves a player's value. And we got another caller. Go for it. Who's this?
Hey, Eric. This is Josh. How are you doing, my man?
What's up, Josh? How may I make your day better?
Doing great. So I called in a couple weeks ago about selling at a card show. So it was my first time vending. I had probably about 50 slabs, and that was super well. I netted about $5,000 in profit.
Nice.
So yeah, it was an awesome time.
Did you
kind
call
of a two-part.
me? Did you call me a few weeks ago when you called me? Was it for advice on what to do at the card show?
Yes, sir. Yep.
What was my advice? What did I say?
Make sure I show up with some cash, and then try to buy as well too. And that's kind of going to my second question or into my question today.
Gotcha.
Because there was nice opportunities to buy some football there. Picked up some Jaden Daniels, some Bo Nix, some CJ Stroud, some Anthony Richardson. But I started an LLC under my name just for tax purposes and making sure it's kind of easier next year when I file taxes under this.
Yep.
How do you expense card show purchases under like an LLC, especially if it's like a cash purchase or anything that you've heard of over the years?
So I'm not an accountant by any stretch. I will give you. We actually have, inside of the program, we actually have like professional accountants that are trained in sports cards. So this might be a better question for them. But when you say expense it's not sports like buying and selling a sports card is it just that like contributes to your profit and loss. It's like an investment. So you like buying a sports card, to my knowledge, once again, I'm not the expert, is not an expense. It's an investment. So you'll realize that profit or loss, 3 months down the road when you sell the card. And if you lost money on it, it goes against your profit and now you're going to pay less in taxes. If you made money, you'll probably pay more than taxes because your profit will go up. But how do I expense it? I just write it down. Honestly, I just write it down. Everything I buy, I put it on a spreadsheet. Every single card I buy goes on a spreadsheet. And I keep track of my profit and loss on that spreadsheet. So I could see how much I made or lost just from buying and selling sports cards. Then you have all the other expenses, traveling expenses, or maybe you went out to eat at the card show, or maybe you bought a new laptop for sports cards. Those expenses go against your profits. At the end of the year, you've made X amount of money, you pay your taxes on that.
Cool. Okay. That's kind of what I was doing. I was just kind of seeing if there's a method that's worked good for
I
you.
just write it down. I literally just put it in my notes, everything I buy at the card show, then it goes on my Google Sheet. I have a giant Google Sheet of everything I buy. I make a new tab every year. So for 2024, for 2025. And my accountant, like at this point, I have an accountant that has access to the sheet and it's like automated and she looks at all my purchases. Like we have like a CFO, so he manages all my finances. But when I used to do it myself, before like major league profits, that's just what I would do. I just write it down on a spreadsheet.
Cool. Okay. That makes sense. I appreciate it. And then I did have a second question if you've got time.
Yeah, let it rip.
Cool. So I was also kind of thinking of when there's like that lull in the off season, kind of when to sell base. I'm big into baseball and football. Basketball, I'm a little shaky on.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on potentially doing like TCG, like Pokemon,
Oh, great.
kind of in that interim?
Yeah. So you want me to show you how to make money with TCG cards in like 30 seconds? uh, all right. So I'm once again, I'm not an expert when it comes to TCG cards at all. Like sports cards, I'm more of an expert. I'm just an expert when it comes to making money and flipping cards. Like when it comes to like the third card in a set of 2022 Pokemon, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know, and I don't care. But if you go to this website, this is how I've made money with Pokemon. And this is how our students do it. So if you go to this website called tcgplayer.com, I'm sharing my screen right now. There might be a little delay for you. And you go to Pokemon. So you could see you have these sets. SV09, Journey Together, SV Prismatic Evolutions, and all these different sets. Twilight Masquerade, I know this is a popular one. You have all these different sets, right? And if you click on one of them, it'll show you the cards in the set. Now, if you go to sort and view, because I don't follow Pokemon, so I have no idea. And if you go to sort and view and you go from priced highest to lowest, it'll show you the most expensive cards in this set. And these are the cards that are probably worth getting graded. So, right, if you let's take this card for example. We have Lily's Clefairy 184 over 159. I don't know anything about it. But if you hop over to eBay and you type that card in, so it's Clefairy number, what was it, number 2? 184 out of 159. You can look this card up, and if you go to sold items, you can see what this card sells for. So this card, you could see sells for like low 200s, like low to mid 200s, and a PSA 10 of this card, there are none. So hold on, let me use another card. Maybe this set is new. Once again, I don't follow Pokemon at all, so I don't know. Let's go back to let's do another set. So Twilight Masquerade, same thing. We'll look at the highest cards in Greninja 214 over 167. I know this is a popular card. So Greninja 214. So you can see this card graded a 10 sells for $630, and not graded does like seems like 250 to 300 in that range. So this is probably a card I'd buy. So that's how I find what Pokemon cards to buy. Once again, I don't know much about the characters. I don't barely know when these sets come out. I just know these cards sell like freaking hotcakes. And the biggest thing you want to be looking for with these Pokemon cards, to my knowledge, is so a lot of these cards have good corners already because the corners are rounded. However, you want to make sure the cards are well centered. If the card is not centered almost perfect, it's not going to grade a 10.
For sure.
So
I've actually used TCG Player a lot, so pretty familiar with kind of the tool. So I always appreciate
so yeah,
the reinforcement. Yeah,
that's what
and
I
I've
do.
sent some stuff off to PSA because like Pokemon, and I've had some success with it. I've had some failures with it, but yeah, the centering's the big one, and then there's like especially the older cards, just like with vintage, it's hard to get those gem mint 10s, especially if it's been a set from 2013 right around in a kid's backpack. So
yeah, I would just focus on the newer stuff, right? If something has not been graded in 10 years, there's probably a reason. So and it looks attractive. And don't get me wrong, I've fallen guilty to it too, right? It looks attractive. Oh yeah, I could buy this card for $100 and a 10 is $2,000. Like this looks amazing. But there's a reason there's such a margin because it's impossible to grade those cards as a 10. Then as the cards get older, PSA controls the population more, so they're more hesitant to give it a 10. So just put yourselves in the shoes of a grader. If you see a card come in that's 10 years old, you're just naturally going to be like, I wonder why this card is not graded a 10. Why is this card not graded? And just like they'd be skeptical of it, which is why they're harder to grade.
For sure. Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for taking your time out, and hope you have a great week. Thanks,
you
Eric.
too, man. Keep doing your thing.
Appreciate it. Thank you,
All
sir.
right, bye-bye. All right, this is the last caller. The last one.
Hello.
Hey, what's up? You got Eric? You're live.
Hey, Eric. How are you?
What's up, man? What's your name?
Johnny.
Johnny, how may I help you?
So I've been doing cards for about 10 years now.
Mhm.
Pretty well experienced in it.
Nice.
But I've been watching the live and interested in the program. I was wondering because mainly when I hear about the program, it sounds like it's mainly for people calling in that are not really knowing what they're doing and helping them get started. But I was seeing if you had any options for people maybe more experienced that had the knowledge but wanted to improve on their card flipping, and
Yep.
if you had maybe a higher end program for that.
Yes, we do. So we do. And what I would say, so to see if the program makes sense for you, are you already making a profit on sports cards? Or you just know a lot about cards, but you're not really like flipping them and making money?
No, since January 1st of this year, I've made around $45,000.
Okay. So yeah, there's a bunch of people. So I would say like 25% of the people that join the program have been doing sports cards for years at this point. So yeah, there are options for it. It just I'm not gonna
Mhm.
sit. I don't want to sit here and like sell you on the program. So I could have. Do you want me to have a coach reach out to you and call you?
Yeah. So mainly the only thing that I'm doing right now is just grading, just buying on eBay. I only buy raw cards or SGC 95s or PSA 9s and resubmit them. That's really the only method I have. But I hear you talk about like buying already graded cards and holding them into the season. That's something that I am not as good at.
Yeah,
I'm pretty good at flipping
yeah.
based on
You
grading, but the
you only
holding
want to do that. Well, let me ask you this, so to see if like I could actually help you. So, do you do sports cards full time, or you have a job as well?
full time.
Okay. And so when it comes to that 45,000 you've made since January, that sales or profit?
It's profit.
Okay. And that's all from grading?
Yeah, only that's the only way I make money is just grading.
Okay. And so when it comes to buying cards already graded, like the minimum type of card you're usually gonna be buying is like at least $1,000. So in order to make
Mm-hmm.
it worth it. So like you really need a bankroll of like 15 to 20 grand extra.
Uh huh.
So
Uh
kind
huh.
of like the natural progression that I've seen in sports cards from teaching a lot of people is you start grading sports cards, you get up to like three, four, $5,000 a month in profit, maybe more. And after making like, and I've seen people get up to 10K a month in profit, but after like 7, 8, 9, 10K a month in profits, like, okay, what's the next step to scale? So, right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two ways to do it. Number one is what we do inside of our program is we hire people called card finders. They're virtual overseas assistants that actually go out and find the cards for you. And they cost $3 an hour because that's above minimum wage in the Philippines. So they'll go out and find more cards for you for actually less time. So you'll spend less time doing it and you'll make more money. And also the other method is like you're talking about buying cards already graded. So do you have a bankroll of at least like 15 to 20K to spend on cards?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then it might be worth it for you. So the biggest thing, so I'll just tell you, I mean, once you could join the program if you want, but I'll just like tell you what to do for free. So uh when it comes to buying players already graded, the new guys like Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, that class, do not buy because their
Mm-hmm.
cards are new. They come out strong, then they come down, then they might come up a little bit. So, because if you buy those cards now graded already, they're gonna go down. So you want to be
Yeah.
looking 1 year past or a little bit more. So the guys who I'm buying personally are you could write like the guys I'm highest on would be Stroud and Jordan Love, me personally, and then
Mm-hmm.
um, I like Bryce Young. I like Anthony Richardson. Once again, I don't like these guys as players. I just like them as guys that buy right now, and people get excited, and their values will go up. So those are the guys. Brock Purdy, I like as well. I just bought a big card of him. So those are the guys I like. But so you have your guys that you like, but it's less about the player. It's more about the type of card. So you could have Brock Purdy. Let's say his value doubles by the time next season starts, but if you have the wrong type of card, you're not going to make any money. So the types of cards you want to be buying are Prism PSA 10 colors, contenders, national treasures if you want to get fancy, but I probably would stay away. Like if you really want to get fancy, like contenders, cracked ices, those fucking crush. National Treasures numbered in 99, high-end Prism. You want stay away from common cards like Silver Prism PSA 10s. You want to go for colored. Blue Ices PSA 10s from Prism just crush it out of the park. But so it's not only the player, it's also the type of card. So like me personally, like the best type of card, in my opinion, I would buy right now would be I would love to buy a Jordan Love cracked ice PSA 10. A guy who I think is going to go up in value because people are going to realize the Packers are going to have a lot of they have a lot of young good players. Jordan Love's still a good quarterback, young good team that'll generate hype and excitement, which will increase the price. And two, that's a top end card, so it's like a double edged sword. You need both working for you. And then if you do things right, hopefully you'll make 20 to 30% on your money, and that's really the benchmark. Like 20% plus is what I look for to make when I buy a card already graded. More the merrier.
Yeah. Like I just sold a Shea Gilgeous rookie Prism blue PSA 10, and I bought it for 1100 raw, and it just sold on eBay for like $7,000.
Nice.
So yeah, so the like I said, the grading is just I see more returns, but I kind of want to spread out the money instead of just all at PSA, because right now I've got about 200 cards sitting there, and sometimes I have a lot of money just tied up with PSA, and I can't spend a lot because I have so much money tied up in just cards sitting at PSA getting graded. So I kind of want to switch my strategy a little bit, but also I only really buy on eBay. And if you're buying PSA 10s or already graded cards on eBay to hold, aren't you a little bit worried about people, seeing that comp and then say, "Oh, I'll give you 80% of that," instead of selling for a profit? Because whenever I try to buy cards already graded, the only way I sell them is if I'm selling them below
Yeah,
what they
that's a
just sold.
great point, which is why you need to buy it months prior. So there's new comps that pop up. Number one. Number two, I think it's a limiting mindset. I will I have tons of people that watch my content all the time. And you could see I just bought a Brock Purdy for $9,000 a cracked ice. I'm saying it to you. I'm saying it on live. I'll make a YouTube video about it, and it'll still probably sell for more. Just to give you an example. So if you go back on my content last year, it's like November. I was talking about how I bought a 2022 Bowman Chrome Orange Jackson Cheerio. I told everyone what I paid, $10,000. Like it was very
Yeah.
obvious. So I told everyone. I made a bunch of videos about it, and then I just auctioned it on Alt like last month, and it sold for $13,500 on Alt. It just doesn't matter. There's too many.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But
Yeah, I
also
remember.
three, I would try to get the card off of eBay. Try to get the guy off of eBay so you could do the. I'd rather people not see the comp, obviously. So I would try to get him off of eBay.
All right. And also one last question.
Yeah.
I also remember you talking about something called sports betting arbitrage.
Yep.
Is that something you also teach in the program that's available?
Yeah, that's only in our higher end program, and that is I don't want to go too far into it, but yeah, that is that is the greatest money making opportunity that exists on planet Earth. I'm convinced, especially if you're in what state do you live in?
I'm in North Carolina.
Okay, so you're also in a good state because sports betting is legal. But I mean, I'm not going to go too far into it, but yeah, it is a risk free way to make a consistent 3, 4, 5K a month. It's really cool. But I'll have a coach just shoot you a call, and you can just see if it makes sense and do it if you want.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right, sounds good. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, bye-bye. All right, I think we have to wrap it up there because I actually have to go to a job recruiting fair because we need more salespeople because there's a lot of people that want to join the program, which is a good thing. But I appreciate everybody calling in. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Episode number 50. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Episode number 100. Maybe I'll try to do something special. Maybe some sort of giveaway or something. That would be cool. But I appreciate you guys listening. I really do. We're going to try to do this twice a week now because it gets so much traction. And I'll see you guys in the next one.